Hello, welcome to another tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and the painting I'm bringing you today is called Around the Bend. It's a 6x8. Did it last week. Real happy with it. Yeah, kind of on a lot of ways, kind of an experimental piece. I've been doing a lot of experimenting lately. I don't know, maybe it's the way the stars are aligned, or who knows, but in many ways. In other ways, it's very much a throwback to the sort of scenes and subject matter that I was really into, 2012, 13, 14, around there. And that's because this is basically kind of a pretty solid interior scene around here. You could see a lot of scenes like this. Lovely hills with lovely trees and, just a nice metal road, very rural. Yeah. So what you see me working on is a piece of hardboard. The paint color is actually burnt umber mixed with perylene black, which is very greenish, and I use that to kind of balance out that reddishness in the raw umber. And it's a great sort of neutral. You can pull it really far into greeny or leave it kind of reddy, it's very flexible, and sometimes I would do something similar with, say, burnt umber and black. But one of the reasons I like this a little better is it gives me a chance when I go in with that black. The black makes a real strong, clean statement, and I like that. A lot of painters are brought along without using black, and I have one of my students is actually a very good art teacher. She teaches children, and a very good artist as well, and she doesn't use black with her students, and I know why. It's because people, if you don't know what you're doing, it makes everything kind of ugly. But and then people say, oh, with the shadows, shadows are never black. They're transparent and da 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 da. Yeah, okay, I know. I know. Sometimes I just like clean, dark shadows, and that brings us to really some ideas about art. Like, what do you like? Knowing what you like and knowing what it is you want to do is probably one of the greatest things that you could have as an artist, and really something subtle that you can develop. It's underrated because so many, you might be looking around, maybe you're on that, what do you call it, that their Instagram, right? Instagram kind of brings me down because it's just too much great stuff all the time flying around. And I don't need all that much inspiration. I'd rather take inspiration from my reference photo, or from lately I've been getting deep into Vincent van Gogh, and this other artist, lovely friend of the channel, sent me as Armand Guillemin. That's Guillamin. Amazing stuff. And I have to say, that guy's work had a influence on this painting, because he had, although it does, that's so funny, because I could say, oh, so and so influenced this painting, and go, well, it looks just like another M. Francis. I know in the in the music deal, sometimes I'll think I'm singing a song like Neil Diamond or whatever, but no one would ever know that. To them, it just sounds like me, But I'll listen to it, go, oh, I'm trying to do my Neil Diamond impersonation or whatever. Anyway, I digress as usual. But same thing here, it does apply, So I'm trying to do something along the lines of this Guillemin, Armand Guillemin. But it's a bit of influence. Maybe things got a little redder than they would have otherwise. I love his freedom of color. Check out his work. If you type his name, you'll get a video with a lot of his stuff come up. Type his name in the old YouTube there. Yeah. Anyway, we painted our sky. Now, it's a good place to point out, if you want to know more about the color processes and things that go into this is a sped up version. of the whole painting session. The full-length painting session, I think this was about 2.5 hours in real time, is in the members area. That costs $6 a month, and you get the real-time videos with the struggle, and sometimes the struggle is very real. That's another point I was kind of thinking about. Well, I'm always saying that, I know, but you know, you can fall on you could have a great period of ascendance, and then sometimes things will hit you and you're hitting snags, and the rapids, so to speak, and that's not something to be afraid of, because usually that precedes big big leaps in your evolution as a painter. And I have to say, like, the further along the trail you go, the harder you have to fight for some real evolution in your style or your process. It does come gradually. Every painting should help build and create better paintings down the road, but sometimes things get a little weird. Yeah. Anyway, hey, we're gonna have an ad for my book coming up, and this book encapsulates the struggle for sure. My first like 12 years of painting, all covered in pretty good depth and detail, in my sort of fashion. But I've got a lot of great feedback on it. People say they really enjoy it, and that it's been helping them with their painting, and that's the idea. That's what I was hoping for when I wrote it. So that's $60 US. That includes international shipping, which ain't cheap. But go and order it, and I'll get it to you, and I know you'll enjoy it. Anyway, so the sky, you know, one of the things it was kind of the challenge of sky is you got so many edges, composition. You know, you can't just faithfully copy a photo of a sky. And you could, I mean, you could definitely could, but it's not going to look very good, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You have to have, this was one of the things I wanted to lay on you, because we're reading this. I don't have the book in here, otherwise I'd give you the guy's name, but I'll be talking about it. This is a book from '75, and this guy paints seascapes, which is something, as you know, or might know, I've really been into learning more about. And his are really like these waves crashing against rocks and things, which is not the kind of paintings I want to do. I'm really still taking a landscape approach to the seaside. But I've got some great points from him, and I'm going to lay a few of them on you right now, okay? When you're painting, what you're painting is feeling, okay? Now, I've known that. You know it. But did you know it like that? Maybe not, but it's important. So how do you feel about the subject? How do you feel about this or that color? How do this or that direction of strokes make you feel? How is it that you're moving through the composition? You know, do you feel tightness in any area, or are you able to kind of just breeze on through and then come around and linger on points of interest? That's what you want. You want people entering your art easily and effortlessly, and that's composition, and it's very hard to teach. I have the one good book is Edgar Payne, composition of, I think it's outdoor painting. It's a good book, but I did a lot of stinky, really bad compositions after buying it. So there's, you know, but it did help. It really did help. I'd say anything you can do. Maybe read a few books, but definitely, even if you saw the drawing portion of this session, and all of my sessions have that, you know, you could just do those on bits of paper all day long, every day, and you wouldn't believe how much better a painter you would become just from that simple action. That's where it's at. Then, of course, there's color, value. There is brush fracture, brush strokes, amount of detail, or usually what we're talking about when we say detail is apparent detail, right? There's a lot of other ways to go wrong, but the number one way that most painters go wrong when they're starting out is their composition. They are not aware that certain elements of that scene need to be modified to correctly move the eye of the viewer through the painting, and it's very different in every case. In this case, a couple things I left off, like well, I'll give you a tip. I always lay this on people that are in the members area. They'll hear me mention it, but if my reference image, that road went all the way off the top of the side of the painting. Okay, it wasn't in. Always take these roads and really taper them. It'll still seem incredibly wide. Okay, but that's always a dead giveaway of the wide angle lens. And that wide angle lens feeling, it's fine in photographs. We're used to seeing it. But when that's transferred into a painting, it's incongruous. It doesn't feel right. So always have a sense of that when you're working with those wide angle photos. I definitely always keep that in mind. Oh, the other really brilliant, and I'm sort of working on another book too. It's going to take a little while to get it together, but when I start talking about something, it's probably going to happen. And this next point will definitely be in that book, and it was illustrated brilliantly by this painter. And this is, you ready? Okay, because you're doing real good. You made it to me with me at 11 minutes, so it means you're getting some value from this. So here's some good stuff. Your point of greatest contrast between light and dark usually will be your focal point, and every painting should have one very strong focal point, if mostly just one focal point. I think that many times there could be other areas of interest, but for example, if you look at say what I did with the sky, with we have these trees at the end of the road on our right. In a little while you're going to see me paint that little area behind really bright yellow. In fact, you may have seen it already for the thumbnail for the video, and the little preliminary photo that flashes by. It's one of the brightest, most saturated. I don't know if it's lighter than the sky. They are on a par probably, but that's okay, because that sky is also in that same general area, and that is where the real point of interest is. You're going down the road, you're headed there, and then you're cycling around. That was really, it's just good to know, and I do something I do know, and I picked up in my journey. But it is very interesting in that you might know something like this and forget that you actually know it. You're just doing it automatically, Yeah, you can see me putting that in nice and bright there, and it's going to go brighter and brighter as it goes, and there's a bit of payoff, right? That real light up against that dark. I love doing it, and it's something that gives my work part of that feeling that it gets, and which is maybe a feeling of a slight darkness. Like this is, there's a lot of darkness in that tree mass, and I didn't really shy away from it, I could get a complex about that sort of thing, because a lot of people don't really approach things as dark. A lot of modern painters don't. A lot of the masters certainly did, and I'm not saying the masters are better because of that. As a matter of fact, I just do my best to make beautiful pictures, so it's not something I can escape or do much about, really. Yeah, very interesting phenomenon. Anyway, I'm so happy and proud to bring you this painting, and if you could do me a favor and you got some value off of this, leave me a comment. It could be just a smiley face. I'm happy with anything. Just leave me a comment, and if you've got some financial means and could help support my I do this full-time, and I don't make all that much. Although we got some new good galleries on board, so yeah, it's looking more positive. But either way, it doesn't matter to me. I paint either way. But if you want to help me out, you can go to my site, buy a little painting or something, or you could just give me a donation if you have some extra financial means. If you don't, just keep watching, and until I come back with another video, do me a favor, do me a solid, take good care of yourself. your family, all your loved ones stay out of trouble, and God bless you and your family.